Women have been discriminated for many years when it comes to the paycheck. In 2015, female all-day laborers made just 80 cents for each dollar earned by men. It has been determined that women will not reach parity until 2059.
Every woman faces a gender wage gap. You think that since we live in the United States we have equal pay, but no we don't, and that problem is not going to be fixed for a long time. In the United States alone, men make on average $51,212, where women only make $40,742, and the gap gets wider when you get older or if you're a woman of color. The Paycheck Fairness Act, introduced in 1977, will close the gender wage gap. However, Congress hasn't passed it. Women have recently started to take a stand on this issue by protesting this injustice. Some of the most recent and widely known protests will be included in this documentary.
In October 2016 at 2:38 p.m., thousands of women in Iceland left work to protest the gender wage gap. Women were gathered at Ostravalar Square and were shouting "ut," which translates to out. They are basically saying, on the off chance that I were a man, I may have earned my paycheck at this point, so I'm taking whatever is left of the evening off and demanding change. Even though Iceland is one of the highest-ranking countries for gender equality, they continue to have unequal annual pay rates. The women make 72 cents for every dollar a man in Iceland makes. It has been projected that the gender wage gap will not be closed for at least another 52 years. Every year, the women of Iceland are protesting for pay equality, specifically on October 24th. This is known as Women's Day Off. About 90% of the nation's women decline to work or take part in household work to help everybody remember the importance women have had on society and the working environment. This tradition started on October 24, 1975. This was a moment that changed the way women were seen in the nation and put Iceland at the front line of the battle for equality. A 26-year-old protester informed Refinery29, "We know that no country in the world has reached gender equality, but today reminds me that not even the country that's supposed to have the most equal rights pays women the same as men." Even though Iceland wouldn't see change for another 50 years, these women are not going to stop fighting for the rights they deserve.
Another country in which women are protesting pay inequality is France, the women that will not let men get away with a higher pay. On Monday, November 7th, women across France, led by Rebecca Anselm, were encouraged to leave work at 4:34 p.m. to protest the gender wage gap. 4:34 p.m. is when women started working voluntarily. The normal French woman is paid 15.1% less than the French man, which implies women work 38.2 more days every year than the man for the same salary. This protest was inspired by the women of the Icelandic protest. Gender attitudes in France left many believing that nothing can be done about the gap. Women in France will not have equal pay rates until about 2186. This is not right, so France will not stop fighting as long as the inequality remains.
On International Women's Day, women across the globe are standing up for themselves, protesting on equality and showing that women should be seen as equal to men. One of the common protests there was women protesting on fair pay at work. One of the main protests for gender pay equality was that Walmart wasn't treating their women employees with the same respect as the men employees. Women are standing up to Walmart because it is trying to keep women from the same rights they deserve.
I think this is a perfect example of the gender pay gap in terms of how Walmart keeps wages low for women. They see women as a cheap source of labor in this country, said by Katie Cody, a spokesperson at Walmart. It isn't fair that women employees in Walmart should have a lower pay when they have families to support. Yet one of the best retail stores aren't giving all their employees the rights they deserve. Women will keep protesting this until Walmart changes its ways.
Most people wouldn't think that women soccer players would be discriminated when it came to the paycheck, but Carly Lloyd, Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, Becky Sauerbrunn, and Hope Solo brought attention to the country that they are paid less than the men's soccer teams. We've been quite patient over the years with the belief that the Federation would do the right thing and compensate us fairly, said Lloyd. Recently, it has become clear that the Federation has no intention of providing us equal pay for equal work, said Rapinoe. Women on professional soccer teams earn about 28% to 68% less than the men's soccer players, depending on how the game went. Also, when the women's team won the championship game in 2015, they were only paid $2 million, while the men's team was paid $9 million, and they lost around 16.
In addition, the women are paid at maximum of $4,950, even if they win every game. while the men's team earns somewhere around $17,625, and if they lose, they can still earn $5,000. The least a man can earn a game is how much a woman is paid at maximum. There's nothing good about all these players not earning what they deserve. They work as hard, if not harder, than men, and yet they still get paid less. The women's soccer players are not going to stop fighting for equal pay. This is a fight we are going to have to continue to fight from here on forward, said Solo. I don't see it getting any easier, but it's something we are committed to. And it's not just in the sports world, it's everywhere you look. They are not going to stop fighting until the Federation gives the women's team the equal pay they deserve. On January 21st, the Women's March took place at Washington, D.C. Many are doing this as a reaction to Trump becoming president. This march is a rally cry for women to show people that they deserve the same rights as men. Who knew that the election results would be a lightning rod for women to gather and raise their voices, said Sabrina K. Garba, CEO of Glass Ladder. And here is one of the women who protested in the march.
I did speak to quite a few people at the rally. The main purpose for the Women's March on Washington was to speak up around the rights of women that have been talked about by our new president, and that's gender equality, equal pay for equal women, reproductive rights. There were quite a few gender rights. That was the reason why it started. The people that I talked to also were there for those reasons, for LGBT rights. Some of the women I were there for reproductive rights, others were there for equal pay, or just to be heard as women. I went for my daughters, both as one of my daughters who's part of the LGBT community, and my other daughter who is a very large climate change advocate, and I too support these two issues. It was awesome. You could actually feel it in the air. There was no violence, no yelling. Everyone was kind under circumstances that were very stressful. It was very crowded. It was very confusing, and it was very cold. I absolutely believe the march will make the difference. It, along with 77 other countries who participated in this worldwide protest for women and gender rights, for LGBT rights, to be recognized and heard for climate change, absolutely.
This protest will hopefully get a message out that women should be equal to men.
Women are not considered equal to men in many ways, including the paycheck. It is encouraging that women are taking a stand, even though the change may take a while. There is no stopping these women into getting the equal pay or rights they deserve. They're going to get that 14% to 68% gap down to 0%. No matter how long it takes, they are going to keep protesting until the gap is closed.